Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be telling you all about how to get better green screen footage for super cheap. A lot of people tell you that you need to really get out your wallet and spend a lot of money to get a good green screen effect, but that's just simply not true. In today's video I'm going to be showing you the green screen that I use. I'm going to be showing you a couple of different ways to get this, one way to get this done with paid software and another to get it done with free software that both look good. So if you want to learn how to get a better green screen effect for way cheaper, this video is for you. Alright, so first things first, let me turn off this effect. Boom. So you can see my green screen isn't huge. It's not a whole entire wall. I'm missing some up here where you can see, and then up here you can see that my whole wall behind me is a little bit out of whack. Why is that? How does that key out? What do you do to get rid of that? How is your green screen not the entire size of your wall? Well, actually, it's a lot easier than you'd think, and a little bit later in the video, we're going to get into that. But right now, I'm going to be telling you which green screen I use and why I use that green screen. So, this is my green screen. It's not huge. I mean, it's tall. It's probably 4 or 5 by 6 if I had to guess, and it collapses down. It's kind of a huge pain to collapse it, so I'm not going to do it right now in this video, but it does collapse. The fact that it collapses can be very, very nice if you're looking to travel or something, because it actually does all. It actually does collapse down into this bag right here, which is still kind of large. Here, let's see if we can see it. It's this big. Still kind of large, but definitely better than having to carry an entire duffel bag's worth of poles, green screen, lights, the whole shebang, which is actually what we're going to talk about right now, because lights are very important for your green screen. You need this thing to be well lit, you need it to be evenly lit, but that's a lot easier to do than you might think. So for me, right here, I've got one light from a kit, which will be linked below, that comes with 3 lights, which is more than you need, and it's like 50 bucks. And then I've got another light right here, which I use for me. So in this one, I've got a warmer light that I bought at Meyer, and then in this one, I've got a cooler light that came with the kit, so that the green can be even more separate because it's a cooler tone than me, because warmer tone. You don't have to do that, but it does help. So now that we've covered light placement, light color temperatures, and which green screen I use, also that it comes in a bag, and how to set it up, you really just pop it out, set it down, and put it wherever you need to put it. You can be close to it, you can be far away. Generally you get better green screen footage if you're farther away from your green screen, but again, not a requirement. If you're close to it, you might just get a little bit of that reflection on you, you get a little bit of that green fringing, but if you work hard in the software, you can get that to go away through tweaks and adjustments that you can make to your footage. So the last thing we're going to cover before we get into the software, where I'm going to show you 2 different ways to actually take the green out and put something else in, so that you can get on whatever background you want to be on, whether it be space or maybe the desert or a forest. Yeah, any of those. I mean, anything you want. It could be a video, it could be a picture, anything. One more tip for your in-camera green screen use is that you bump your shutter speed up. So normally you'd shoot at double your frame rate. So I shoot at 24 frames per second. You're going to want to shoot 50 generally for video, but on a green screen you want it to be easier to separate you from the background, so you want less motion blur. So you want to bump that up to like 80 is a good place that a lot of people recommend and that I've found works very well for me. Alright, so without any further ado, let's jump into the computer so I can show you a free way and a paid way to make this all go away. Alright, so the first program you're going to want to open, and maybe not for you, so this program is called DaVinci Resolve, and it's a free program, 100% free. It's great when I don't have Adobe, this is what I go to for both effects and editing, because it really can do pretty much everything that you'd want it to do, and it does it for free. So first thing we're going to do is get our media. We're just going to use the clip that you saw earlier of me talking and my green screen. Alright, so now our clip is in Resolve. We're going to drag it down here, pop it into our timeline. And then, as you can see, we've got our clip. Just looking exactly how we want it to. It's the same one from earlier that you've seen. So what we're going to do is actually, since we don't need all of this to work with, just to make it a little bit easier on my computer, we're going to get rid of these chunks. And these steps are the same for however much you're going to be using your green screen. So like however long the clip is. I just want to shorten this one down since it is a graphics effect. It does take a little bit for your computer to do. Tutorial. Great. Alright, so what we're going to do with this clip is we're going to go down here to the color effects panel in Resolve, and then we're going to click on this little dropper right here, and then in these little dots, these represent different menu tabs, you're going to click on this fourth one, and it says no selection. So we're going to click on this where it's got the bullseye, and then we're going to click on a color that's kind of near to where we are. Just click on that, and then if we hit Shift H, it'll show us what we have selected. If we hit Shift Alt H, we can black and white it, which is my preferred method. You can come down here to these controls where you can clean the black areas, which just make them more completely black, or you can clean the white areas, which makes them more completely white, so that you're able to really control what goes into. And then we're going to add over here so that it knows that we also want that color. So if you have little colors that aren't picked up by the bullseye, or if it picks up too many colors, you use this plus and this minus, which will add and take away from your mask. So we're going to minus on my ear over here because it looks like it's a little bit like it wants to keep it in the white. So we are going to then clean the black areas, clean the white areas. Our blur radius, let's see how we're looking here. Looks like maybe our ear is going to be lost a little bit, but just for the sake of the tutorial, that's not the worst thing ever, just because I'm only trying to... There, we could do that, but that's going to leave us with some green fringing, I bet. Let's see. Nope, that actually looks pretty good. Alright, well, mess around in these controls as much as you want to until your image is at the quality that you want it to be at. And what we're going to do for this other white part over here is actually just masking. So you're going to want to mask off these parts. So for that, we are going to use this tool, and we'll just use the pen, and then we will mask away all of the areas that we are not going to be. Boop. And then over here, so you want to make sure that you keep your hands away from the edges just so that you can do that mask properly. But if we play it right now, we can see that I have not really any green fringing that's worth noting, and everything out here is that gray color that we're going to get. Alright, so one final step before we go into our actual like edit where we're going to put our other pictures in and everything. So you come up here and then you click, where is it? Add alpha out right there, so that puts this little blue dot here, and then you want to drag this over here and drop it on that other blue dot, and then when we come out here, whatever is behind us, like right here, as you can see in the timeline, I've put this shark picture behind us, and you hit play and it plays through, and it's a pretty clean green screen. There's a little bit that I would do, like probably a little bit of blur around the edges, but for the most part that's a pretty clean green screen. If we want to add other things in here, we can get rid of the shark, we can add in video, photo, whatever we want. So I'm going to put in another photo just so that you guys can see how it's done. Put myself on this darker background. Boom, right there. We're going to change the clip duration. We're going to make it 25 seconds. or I guess 23. And then we're gonna extend this out so that they're about the same length, and then we're gonna check that out. And as you can see, it's a pretty decent green screen. I mean, you're going to want to color grade this footage so that it looks like more like the background, but when everything's said and done, the cut is clean around the edges, so that's what you're shooting for. That's how you do it in DaVinci Resolve. Now we're going to pop over into After Effects so I can show you how to do the same thing over there with the paid software. I generally find that this is a little bit faster, a little bit easier, but I completely understand if you don't want to shell out all the money that Adobe costs. So we're going to close this. Alright guys, After Effects is now opened. We're going to create a new composition called Tutorial. And we're just going to leave it at 1920 1080. All that stuff is fine for this. Let's see if we can, yeah, that's fine. Alright, so we're going to want to import file, and we'll pop a couple pictures in here as well. Alright, just so that we're going to be able to see all of those, hit done there, so we're going to drag movie down into our composition, and like we did before, we are going to trim this down, boop. Alright, so that's all we're going to use right there. Are those 7 seconds of our clip. So we're going to want to go over to Effects and Presets in After Effects. This is built in. You don't have to download this effect from anywhere else. It just comes with After Effects, which is quite nice. So in Effects and Presets, we're going to search for Key Light. And we're going to take keying right here, this category, and then we're going to take Key Light. We're going to drop it right down on our video here, our clip. So we're going to take this little dropper, very similar to the last one. We're going to take this dropper and we're going to click on an area that's close to our subject. And this one is going to do a little bit better job right out of the gate trying to figure that out. So we're going to change our screen gain so that we get it to somewhere that we think is good and selected. Change our screen balance. I mean, just play around with all this stuff. Try to find a spot that you like. Make it so that everything looks okay. Okay, so you've got this, you've got your gain, your balance. You don't really need to worry about D-spill bias or alpha bias so much most of the time. Like, so little that I'm not even going to really mess with it. So if you go to View, and then Intermediate Result, it's going to make it so that once you start moving around, it looks better for you. And then we're going to want to grab our pen tool up here at the top, and again we're just going to make that mask around where we aren't going to be moving. So we're going to close it, and then we're going to get rid of all that on the outsides. So now we're done in Key Light, and we're done with our pen tool, so we're going to go back to our pointer tool, and then we're going to take one of these photos, pop it down here behind our image. So here you can see a side-by-side of the same image with DaVinci and After Effects, so I'll let you kind of pick which one looks better. Obviously the main clip hasn't been graded yet, but you can kind of pick which one you prefer, which one you think keyed better. As you can see, there's really not too big of a difference between these two keys, so whether or not you want to spend money is totally up to you. So now we are going to close After Effects, and I will see you guys back on the green screen. Alright, so I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. I hope that this is going to help you elevate your filmmaking or YouTube passion, career, whichever, and I hope that you guys are able to find success with these methods that I've taught you, and I hope that you have a clearer idea of how to actually green screen your footage. And I hope that you've learned that it really doesn't take as much money as people like to tell you it does. I've got links to everything that I use in the description down below, and if you like the video, make sure to leave it a like. If you feel like it, make sure to subscribe. I'm going to be trying to put out videos every single weekday for the next few weeks, so we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, if you want to stick around for the journey, definitely hit that subscribe button, smash the bell, and then, yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next video.